Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be talking about what my 2016 reading goals will be. Now, if you guys have been paying attention, you know that I haven't really posted like a 2015 wrap-up. That will be coming at the end of the month. I don't like to do those until I've actually finished reading everything I can read for the year. But I know generally what the trends are with my reading, and so I know what I want to be working on for next year, so I figured I might as well just put out my 2016 goals video now. So the first goal that I have is inspired by Andy from Estella's Revenge, and it's the Read Your Own Damn Books challenge goal thing that she started. It's a pretty open-ended goal, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's to read the books that you own, which is a thing that I always struggle with. In 2015, I did Project 10 at the beginning of the year, and I was doing really good with it until maybe like halfway through the year. I think around like May or June I fell off the wagon, and I just really slowed down with reading my own books. I bought a bunch of books over the summer, and then even when I wasn't buying books, I was getting a bunch of books from the library, so my own TBR pile hasn't shrunk as much as I wanted it to last year. My goal last year was to get my unread books to under 50, and I'm currently sitting at 71. Now I think I've gotten pretty good at slowing down my purchasing of books, but the problem again that I'm running into is that I keep reading my library books over the books that I actually own. So I think I'm going to do sort of like a read 5 before I buy, except instead of buying, I'm going to be using that as a library. So I have to read 5 books before I can go to the library. And then I'm going to limit the amount of books that I can get from the library maybe to like 3 books. And then my goal by the end of the year is to definitely get under 50, which I think is completely doable. It would be really nice if I could get to like under 30 unread books. I feel like for some reason having anywhere between 20 and 30 unread books is like the perfect amount for me, because I like having unread books, but I don't like having an obnoxious amount of unread books. So I feel like if I could get to around 20 to 30 unread books, that would be great. I mean, maybe once I get to that point, I'll reassess from there and see how I feel, but I feel like 50 is like the definitely doable goal, and then under 30 is my stretch goal. My next goal is to read more international books, specifically books in translation or books published in other countries outside of the United States and England. One thing that I started tracking last year in my massive spreadsheet is what country books were published in. I think the percentage right now is sitting around like 89% United States. So I want to increase that next year, and I'm hoping to hit 20% non-US, non-England books. Now they could be published in English if they are still published in another country. For example, Smaller and Smaller Circles, which I read this year, was published in the Philippines, but it was published in English in the Philippines. So I just want to be exposed to authors in other countries. I already have a pretty good list going, but if you have any recommendations of any bloggers or specifically booktubers who talk a lot about international books, then definitely leave that down in the comment section. I'm always looking for more suggestions. Book Riot actually does a monthly column called In Translation, where one of the contributors writes about some of the newly translated books coming out in the United States, so that's definitely something that I've been using to pay attention to what's in translation. And another thing is that the Man Booker recently redid their like international prize, so that'll definitely be a resource that I will be using. The fourth thing on my goals list is to do the Read Harder 2016 challenge. I will have a link down below to the Book Riot post that talks about the Read Harder challenge, but I loved doing this in 2015. In 2016 it looks even more difficult. I felt like a lot of the 2015 challenges were already books that I read. I mean, the majority of them were already books that I was naturally going to be picking up anyway, so it wasn't too much of a stretch. This one looks like a stretch for me, which has me slightly worried but also slightly excited, because it means that I'll be picking up books that I might not necessarily have picked up otherwise, which is completely the point of the challenge. So yeah, this is just like the PDF version, I don't even know if you can see that, of the challenge, so you can mark off all of the books that you read for the challenge, and also if you complete this entire thing in the year, there's like a discount code that you get for the Book Riot store, which is pretty cool. The next challenge that I have for myself is to reread a couple of books. I am a horrible rereader. I basically just read books and put them on my shelves and then never pick them up again unless they are part of a series and I want to reread the entire series to prep for like the next book coming out or something. But even then, I'm not even that good at that. So I made it a point to pick out 3 books that I want to reread. There's a chance I'm going to reread these before the end of the year, because after I put up my favorite books of 2015 list, I think I'm going to stop reading new to me books and just reread some books, at least reread one book. But I'm going to link to a book riot video that I did where I talked about rereading books, and there I specifically outlined 3 books that I want to reread. So yeah, whatever I don't reread this year will roll over to the next. And I only picked out 3 because I want to be realistic about my rereading. I know that I'm not going to do a lot of it, and there's a pretty good chance I won't do any of it. So I want to be as realistic as possible when it comes to rereading books, because I know I'm always just going to be attracted to new books, especially with all of these other goals that I want to do. Rereading isn't super high priority for me. And the final goal that I have for 2016 is to read Middlemarch. I've never read Middlemarch, and I've decided that that's going to be the big book that I tackle this year. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that every summer I tackle one big book. 2 years ago it was War and Peace, last year it was Moby Dick, and so I've decided that next year it's going to be Middlemarch. So you guys can look forward to some sort of video series or read along that's going to go along with that. It'll probably be around the same time of year, July or August. I feel like just doing it in August and just making it an annual August thing. But yeah, there will definitely be another video about reading Middlemarch together in the future, so you guys can look forward to that. So yeah, those are basically all of my goals for next year. I like to be as realistic as possible with my goals while also still pushing myself. A couple of things that I'm not going to be tracking officially are the number of books that I'm reading. I mean, I keep track of that in the sense of like, I know how many books I read at the end of the year, but I don't have a specific goal in mind. For anyone who's going to be wondering, I do set up a Goodreads challenge of 50 books at the beginning of every year just because I think it's interesting to see how my years compare to each other. I've been doing the 50 book challenge since like college, since before it became a real Goodreads thing. So it's still like this benchmark for me, and I like to just see if I hit it or not. If I don't really care that much anymore. Now that I've hit it multiple years in a row, I really don't care if I hit 50 books or not. It's kind of just like seeing how I'm reading and a way for me to compare things from year to year. Another thing I don't track is the gender of the authors that I read. I mean, I track it and I pay attention to it like on occasion, but I'm always reading more females than males, and I'm perfectly okay with that, although I do come pretty close to 50-50. I'm usually around a 60-40 split. And the final thing that I'm not going to be tracking quite as closely as I have before is the race and ethnicity of the authors that I read. And I'm going to say that with the caveat of I'm still paying attention to those things, and I still want to read as diversely as possible. But after doing this past year of tracking that and realizing all of the complications that go into that, you know, knowing whether or not someone quote-unquote counts is like the most problematic thing in the world. But I do think it's still something important to pay attention to, and when you stop paying attention to it, at least when I stop paying attention to it, it slips significantly. So I still am going to be paying attention to it, but I'm not going to have like a hard goal that I'm shooting for. My basic goal is that I want it to be above 33% and shooting for 50%, but I'm not going to give myself a hard time if I don't hit 50% at the end of the year. As long as I'm in that range, I'm totally fine with my reading habits. And I definitely think that the reading more internationally goal will also help with that, and definitely change and adjust the way that those statistics break down. I just wanted to say that I'm paying attention to those things, but I'm not making specific hard and fast rules about them, because I feel like my reading has evolved enough that those things are more second nature to me now than they were previously, which is the whole point of setting goals like this. For me, these types of goals, reading goals and things like that, are for exposing myself to new and different books, challenging myself just a little bit, and also just making those challenges more second nature in my reading, so that way it isn't hard for me to pick up books that are by non-white people because I'm so aware of it already. It's just already running in my head. That's kind of how I'm looking at this international reading thing too. I'm hoping that now that I'm being more intentional and seeking out international books, it'll almost be like a flood the way it was when I was looking for more non-white authors. So yeah, those are my goals for next year. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any questions about any of the goals that I've set. Like I said, I will have a 2015 wrap up probably around January 1st, so you guys can look forward to that in the future. Feel free to leave a comment down below also if you are planning on doing any of these goals for yourself next year. I definitely like to see if there's anyone else, you know, doing similar things, so that way we can sort of cheer each other on and see what our progress is like throughout the next year. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.